England flanker Tom Curry has accused South Africa's Bongi Mbonambi of racially abusing him during yesterday's World Cup semi-final. Curry reported the alleged incident to referee Ben O'Keefe, who told him to do nothing.
England's brave semi-final defeat has been overshadowed by an allegation of racism. Tom Curry claiming South African hooker Bongeni Mbonambi used a racial slur towards him. Curry brought it to the attention of referee Ben O'Keefe around 30 minutes into the game. England have until Monday morning to make a formal complaint to the citing officer, but World Rugby could intervene regardless. Mbonambi refused to shake Curry's hand at the full-time whistle. South Africa say they take the allegation very seriously and are reviewing the evidence. Against South Africa, England produced a level of performance and physicality we haven't seen under Steve Borthwick. In the week building up to the game, we asked England if the defeat 4 years ago in the World Cup final to South Africa in Yokohama was a driving force. They insisted it wasn't. But last night, after the game, they revealed it actually was. And more than that, the words that have been said by South African coaches after that night and in the 4 years since, Steve Borthwick wrote them down, printed them off and put them up around the team hotel.
I don't think necessarily the South Africans respect us. Some of the things their coaches openly said about us in their documentaries and stuff probably just adds fuel to the fire, really.
You mentioned some of the things that they've said about you. Did you harness that this week then?
Certainly some boys. Yeah, probably did, yeah.
Steve put some quotes up, is that right?
Yeah, a few. We touched on their documentary, and we've got staff who were with them, so they give us insight as to how they feel about us.
Do you feel you earned their respect tonight, though?
I don't know. I don't really care.
For many in this England team, they will not play in another World Cup, but there are younger players coming through who have put their hand up and shown the future of English rugby at the top of the pyramid is very bright.
I think you look at the players they've got, the players that have been in the squad and around the squad. You look at the players tonight, as I mentioned before, Curry, George Martin, Chess comes in. You've got some outstanding players throughout the team that can take the team forward, and I think hopefully this is the start of their journey, and it'll make them some memories and something to live up to.
So the top of the English rugby pyramid looks pretty sharp, but remember there are greater issues further down. 3 Premiership clubs went under last season. Chief Executive Bill Sweeney is under pressure. English rugby needs to find a sustainable model moving forward, but in the shorter term, England, having gone to the well last night, must pick themselves up and try and end this World Cup on a high by beating Argentina in the 3rd-4th place playoff on Friday night. James Cole, Sky Sports, Paris.
The South African Rugby Union have launched an investigation into the allegations. They've released this statement. We're aware of the allegation, which we take very seriously, and are reviewing the evidence available. We will engage with Bongi if anything is found to substantiate the claim. As for on-field matters, England head coach Steve Borthwick pointed to a bright future after falling to that narrow defeat against the Springboks.
I think the whole team performance was strong. We're disappointed. We came here with a plan to win the game, and we fell a little bit short. Not far short, but a little bit short. So we're desperately disappointed with it. But I think the players should be incredibly proud of what they have done and continue to do as they represent England rugby. I think in that team today, in that 23, I think there was 7 players at 25 or under. That's the most of any of the semi-finalists. I think South Africa had 1, 25 or under. So I think that there's a great blend within this squad, and there'll be lots of things we'll take as we go forward from this. We put ourselves in a position to win the semi-final against the current world champions and the current world number 1. So the players done very well. We're obviously disappointed because we thought we were going to win.
Borthwick's side lost 5 of their 6 games before the tournament, but went on to win Pool D and reach the last 4.
Yeah, sat here disappointed, but unbelievably proud. Unbelievably proud of what this group's done over the past 5 months together. It's not all gone our way, but to build up to a performance like we did today, ultimately to come short to to a great team like South Africa. But yeah, I'm sat here disappointed, but unbelievably proud of what this group's done.
Do you feel like the future's bright for English rugby?
Yeah, certainly. I think boys like George Martin today, who played excellently, 22, so same age as me when I had my first World Cup, and I think we're going to be seeing players like him and Chez. Obviously, Maz is still young, Genji and them kind of boys. Going to see him for a long time, and hopefully they can continue to drive this England team forward.
Is there a foundation here for good things to come?
I think so, yeah. I think we've got a really good squad. Obviously, boys will move on. That's the like of it. But it's it's one of them. We've got a good foundation, a great coaching team. So yeah, hopefully we'll go from strength to strength and get better.
For some of you, this will be your last World Cup. Is the future of English rugby bright? There's a few guys moving on.
Who's moving on?
I'm not going to name names, and I'm not moving you on.
Yeah, I think you look at the players they've got, the players that have been in the squad and around the squad. You look at the players tonight, as I mentioned before, Curry, George Martin, Chez comes in. You've got some outstanding players throughout the team that can take the team forward. And I think hopefully this is the start of their journey, and it'll make them some memories and something to live up to.
As for South Africa, they're now chasing a record 4th title when they take on the All Blacks in Saturday's final. Their head coach, Jacques Nienaber, knows there is more to come from his side.
I must start with probably paying a lot of credit to England. I thought they were outstanding on the night. They had a very good tactical plan, and they really put us under a lot of pressure. And it's something that we will have to go and have a look at, and we will have to improve in terms of that. For if New Zealand decides to maybe use the same tactic.
One of our sponsors gave us a screen so we can see the support, what's happening back at home. And we know the whole continent is honestly behind us. Some of the videos where people just sit and talk about how they feel and what it's doing for them. And I don't think there's any country in the world where people that don't have DSTV will go to a mall and all sit together, and people keep the mall open and they sit there and they watch us play, different from people from different walks of life. And I think that is exactly what's fueling the team.